Hi everyone, welcome to Push Your Luck video. My name is Eric and today we'll be looking at the game of 49. Now this is a new game by Markee Games, which is also a new company, and it's by new game designer Mark Coolstuffinc. So everything is new. This is the first game that he has designed and released by his newly formed company for the into the board game industry. So the game of 49, it was kickstarted successfully in 2014. So I think you can consider this a 2014 release. This is a 2 to 5 player game. It plays about 30 minutes or so, and it is an auction game. So players are just trying to invest in numbers on the board, and then they will try to reap the rewards from the payout and get 4 in a row. If you're playing with 2 to 4 players, it's 4 in a row. First to have 4 in a row, whether diagonally or orthogonally, will win the game. If you play 5 players, then it's 3 in a row, 3 in a row to win. So let's take a look at the game components, how it plays, and I'll give you my thoughts about the game. So this is what you get in the game of 49. First thing first, paper money. I am not a big fan of paper money, and this are quite thin paper money, so I'm not a big fan of this. Each player will also have its own counter. These are the very easy to find, I would say cheap plastic discs. So each player will have one set of plastic discs, and there'll be 5 different colors. There's a game board for you to mark, for the players to mark where the purchases they have made during the game, and there's also a set of cards. Now the cards have 2 different types of cards. They are number cards, which correspond to a number on the board, or a payoff card. So this is when a player buys, for example, when a player wins this card, then they'll be able to put this there. So when a player wins this card, they can put this in any of these numbers, and then there's a payout. I'll explain all this in the rules later. So all in all, I would say for first game, the components could have been better, could have been a better quality, but I guess to save cost and to I guess test the market, I would say this is acceptable. But I do hope that if Markee Games do produce other games in the future, I hope they'll up the value and the quality of the game components that they have. So let's look at how the game plays. Now in the game, what happens is that you first shuffle this stack of cards. Each player will have $49 to start off with. So you shuffle this stack of cards, and then you will draw. And then you choose a starting player. The starting player will have this deck in front of him, and then you will draw one card. Draw the first card out. So what happens is you draw a card. You see this number. So this number means that now players will get to bid. There will be an auction. Players will get to bid on this card. If they win, they get to put one of the chits on number 40. So as mentioned, the objective of the game is to have 4 in a row, either diagonally or orthogonally. Alright, and if there's 5 players, then the first to have 3 in a row will win. So players will bid on this number. Once you pass, you will be out of the game. Out of the round, not out of the game, out of the round. And so in turn order, players will bid until everyone else has passed, and whoever is the highest bidder will then pay the amount of money. If you did not win the auction, you do not lose any money. So whoever has highest bidder will pay the money to the bank, alright, and then this card will be discarded and you put a chit there. So this continues until you reach, then the next player will now be the starting bidder, and then you keep going until you reach a payout. So let's see. So you see this is a payout card. So what this means is that players will still first have to bid on this card. If they win this card, they get to put a chit of theirs on any of this numbers. So 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, and 48. Alright, after that, there'll be a payoff, which means that for every disc you have on the board, you now get $7 in payout. And so this is the only way you can earn money. You cannot overbid what you do not have. If you do, then there's a penalty. You lose a chit on the board, and so this is the way you play the game. There's no other special things about it. There's no real theme to it. It is just a bidding game, and is what you see is what you get. So there is a certain cleanliness to it, a certain simplicity to it. This is what you see, this is what you get. It doesn't pretend to be something else. There's no artificial theme pasted on to it. So yeah, so first to have 4 in a row or 3 in a row will win the game. So let's go to my thoughts about the game. So that's the game of 49. Now, what do you think of the game? When I first saw the game on BGG, I wasn't very impressed by it. I mean, there's it's like an abstract game, but not really an abstract game, because most auction games usually have some theme pasted onto it or something that looks different. Like for example, Going Gong. It is a somewhat of an auction game, but it has all this interesting artwork and interesting theme pasted onto it that makes it interesting. I mean, it makes it engaging because it will attract me to the site. I look at it and it looks pretty interesting for me to want to try. But then I heard very good reviews from the Game Boy Geek and Joe Eddy, who mentioned that, oh, this is a surprise hit. It's very cool, so you should check it out. So I did. I reached out to Markee Games. Thank you, Markee Games, for this review copy. Now, when I first open up, I see the components. It is as what you see in my review. There's nothing really impressive about it, so I do hope that if Markee Games make new games in the future, they do upgrade their components. So when I play the game, it is pretty interesting because in terms of auction-wise, it's pure auction. So there are interesting moments to it. You're not sure when the payoff cards will come out, so you're not sure how to manage. You need to manage your money wisely so that you don't overspend, and then other players may be able to get good numbers at very, very cheap prices. But at the same time, if you know that you're going to be aiming for that particular region of the board, you need to bid high in order to get your numbers down there. And it's also very important to make sure that you have enough money, enough chips on the board, so that when payout comes, then you get back the money in return, and then you get more. So there is a subtle way to play the game, in the sense that, well, you may think that hoarding money is good, so that when the right numbers come out, you just only bid for those. But at the same time, if you do not get enough of your chips down, when windfall comes, then you will lose out, because those players who already got their chips down for very cheap prices, less than 7 for example, they will get a profit in return. So that's quite interesting. It also gets interesting when, for example, there's only 1 or 2 players left with money, and then everyone else has kind of overspent their money, and then the cards keep coming out, and you're hoping for a windfall, hoping for the payout to come, but it doesn't seem to come, and then the player with money left over gets all the cheap numbers for very cheap. But I think the biggest flaw of this is that you kind of know who's going to win, especially if a player has if the cards are if the cards happen to be dealt in such a way that if you're just waiting for the one number, all right, and then you have a payout or a few payouts in a row, and that will cause that one player who's just waiting for one number to be able to get a lot of money from the payout, and then no one else can beat him. So this has been the case in most of the games I've played, where we know that this player has only need one more number to win, and he has already quite a few chips on the board, and then you just need to wait for the number to come, and then he'll outbid everyone. No one else can beat him on the bids, and that kind of fell flat. So the ending kind of fell flat. The build up is interesting. You're like waiting. Oh, am I going to get number? Oh, am I going to build up enough to get a win for? Oh, every payout is quite fun because you get money back again, and you can now bid again and stuff like that. But once it comes to the climax, you know that there's only one number left. All right, and then usually that player who has only one number left already has a few chips on the board, and makes it a bit anticlimactic. So, and also I feel that the overall impression of it feels very much like a well-polished prototype in a way, but I feel that it's just needed an extra bit more to bring it that much further and to make it a complete game. So the anticlimactic part of the game and the overall blandness of the theme and stuff like that kind of brings it down for me. So I would say that this is a try before you buy. It is interesting. There are certain parts to it, but I felt that maybe some of the luck of the draw might be it might be managed better, and that might bring it one step further, for example. Yeah, but otherwise it's interesting. If you like auctions, you can check out the game of 49. But otherwise I will feel that you need to try it before you buy it. So that's the game of 49. Once again, thank you Markee Games for this review copy, and thanks for watching.